discuss the importance of professional development. As a candidate for my principal certification, I am required to conduct this meeting to answer an important question. What is the effectiveness and perceived importance that professional development has on a teacher's growth? We want to understand what is the role of the vision statement or the vision plan for a campus in reference to professional development. Today, I will solicit responses to determine the importance of professional development. Each of you have provided responses to the questions I presented prior to today. Today, we will record your responses and fulfill the requirements of this assignment. I will take your responses during this meeting to consider a determination letter to encourage the campus to take an active role in educating our educators. Our goal as a committee is to identify and address specific areas of need as well as appropriate follow-up questions to crystallize the importance of professional development. Today, visiting with me, I have Richard, I have Laura, I have Jessica, I have Michelle, I have Shelly, I have Kelly, I have Hank, and I have Alice, and myself, Reginald. We know that that today we will discover how effective our professional development opportunities at J.P. Elder Middle School. The rules of engagement are not to place blame or a venue to process complaints. Okay, we are here to determine the importance of professional development. We will visit the probing question I presented earlier this week to consider professional development. Before I begin, can each person in attendance introduce themselves and the number of years you have been teaching? And I'm going to start to my left.
I had to look over to be sure it was on this side. Okay, Dudley Raybon.
I said that wrong.
That's all right. This is you. I'm starting year 11. It says 10, but it's really 11. And I teach elective sciences.
Okay.
Laura DeCutler. This is my 9th year of teaching choir, and yeah, all choir all day.
All right, cool.
I'm Jessica Williams. This is my 4th year teaching, 3 years teaching history. My first year I taught 8th grade science.
Michelle Blakely. This is my 7th year of teaching, and I teach enhanced math.
Shelley Skelton, 6 years teaching. I teach science. Before my 6 years of teaching, though, I've been an aide or assistant in classrooms for about 6 years as well.
Okay, Kelly Sherman. I'm finishing my 19th year of teaching for Fort Worth ISD. 8 years in elementary, and the rest has been in middle school. I've taught science from 3rd grade to 8th grade.
Okay.
Hank Smith. This is my 1st year teaching, and I teach 7th grade social studies.
Alice Smith. I have been teaching for 15 years. I teach science for our Language Center program.
Okay. And first, guys, I want to again thank you guys for taking out your exciting Fridays and to help me out. Okay, so let's jump right in. Let's deal with the first thing that I did, what I was able to come up with with the questionnaire that I sent you. Okay, the first question that I asked was, do you know the school vision statement? And out of those polled, I had 3 that knew it and 4 that did not know it. And I guess that whose responsibility does knowing the vision statement? Does it fall on us as educators, or is it administration to make sure it reverberates, or that make sure we'll be that we're aware of the mission statement? How do y'all feel about that?
As a first-year teacher here at this campus, I feel like it's the administration's responsibility to make sure it's known. I'm not going to walk in and automatically know what the mission statement is unless somebody tells me. And I had absolutely no clue what this statement was, and even seeing it, it seems so wonderful. It just feels like it's the responsibility of the administration to fill that in.
Yeah. So, anyone else feel the same way that Laura does?
Well, go ahead.
I would say yes, because I'm a first year teacher in general, and so, there's a lot of things that come into a new school that I would need to know, and that being one of them, how they want us to get that across to the students.
Okay.
And as a team leader, because I'm a team leader, it makes me feel like that I felt in that, because he's a member of my team, but that's also something that I assumed when they were doing new teacher orientation, they had the new teachers come together, that's one of the things that they were talking about. This is the district's mission statement, this is JP Elder's mission statement. I think those of us who probably knew it were there where we did the training, where we came up with the mission statement.
So have anyone worked in the industry outside of education where vision statement was important?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To speak on behalf of the situation from the other perspective, I understand that branding in business and taking the professional model from the professional world and putting it into education is a relatively new thing.
Right.
So I know that we had some training to learn about what vision statements were and how they were used, and we created our
Right.
personal ones, which was very satisfying. From that point, though, we didn't grow it yet, but I think that it's only been
About 3 or 4
2
years.
to 3 years.
Were you guys
Yes.
able to come up with the mission statement yourself, or is it something that the district, like, put on top of you? Like, did you get to come up with the wording yourself?
Created it. It was
Yeah.
kind of like a weird conglomeration of ideas that someone tied together for us.
And then we each had to have our own mission statement for our classrooms to reflect what we taught and the level of students we had. Like mine says something about to show growth and responsibility or you know.
To me, it seems like mission statements always seem to come into play at the beginning of the year, and everything is coming at us at the beginning of the year, new teachers and returning teachers. It's a crazy hectic time. And then we get started with the year and it doesn't get brought back up, and so, and it's partly, I'm sure, because it is something kind of new to the educational mindset, that we're borrowing from something, because teachers borrow. We're very good at borrowing, but we have not figured out how to make it work and how to continue through. And that's where the vision statement kind of fails for us, because it's just a thing.
Well, with this being my third career, the first one that offers a retirement program, I'm very blessed to be here. The first two didn't have. But coming out of food service and sales with a major 500 corporation that is now defunct, essentially, the mission statement is always in education to me been overeducated. With this, like I said, being third career, in the real world that I came from, the mission statement, its effectiveness is directly inverse to its length and complexity. The bigger and longer it is, the less you're going to do it. And same thing with the motto and all the other stuff. If it's big, it's not going to happen.
Right.
We have too much going on in our lives. It needs to be an action statement, not a bunch of adjectives or adverbs.
Right.
It needs to be small, and it needs to cover something that is pardon me, important to all stakeholders. And, you know, excellence, leadership, determination, exemplary, and relationships. I don't know what the hell that means.
Well, and how do we know if we've done it? It's
Right.
being a science
There's nothing
teacher,
No way to
and
measure it.
making
So basically,
hypothesis
so
testing.
Yeah.
the vision
Needs to be
statement
measurable.
is that one, that it had, I mean, to me, it's like that commercial. The slogan that you, every time you hear the jingle or every time you hear that, you know what that commercial is for. And, you know, I'm also coming from corporate America with a business background, and in military, we was inundated with what our purpose was.
Right.
We knew why. And I think that a lot of the frustration, even with teachers, is when they don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like, you're the teacher and you don't have that answer. And then who do you ask without somebody trampling on you?
Right,
Or,
and with the vision, adding on to that, for instance, at my church, we say the vision statement every Sunday. And because, I mean, after a while, it's like, why are we saying every Sunday? But after a while, you get an idea of why we're doing what we're doing. It gives you a focus or a goal as to, okay, this is why we're doing this particular event, because it goes with the vision statement. Without a vision, you're not gonna know where or how to accomplish your goals. So I think with, you know, like a first year teacher, or even a veteran teacher, if we don't say the vision statement, like we say the Pledge of Allegiance every day, we're not gonna know why we do the things we do, because we don't have that clear path.
And I worked at a school that every day we said what it was.
right.
And the students knew it. It was on the shirts, it was on the walls, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And I-
everybody can recite it, it was known.
So, so can you, from our, I mean, I've been teaching myself for 7 years, and this is the first time that I've been in or on a campus that I did not know the vision statement. Usually I'm kind of proactive, and then when I saw it, I said, oh, this is a joke.
Yeah, that is
And then, you know what I
Well,
mean? I
because
mean, not to be rude, but
The
it's
words in
just,
here are so,
yeah.
like, they're
Ambiguous?
piddly.
Yeah,
They're-
yeah, yeah.
They have no meaning, they have
Right.
no strength behind them.
Okay.
And so, I mean, to have a vision statement, you've gotta tell it to do something. There's gotta be action, there's gotta be determination. This is just a bunch of adjectives that don't really mean anything and can't really be measured.
Well, maybe going back to what Ms., Shelley was saying, if you're from an education world and mission and vision statement is not new, then maybe someone didn't know how to direct them on how to write a mission and vision statement. So they were doing the best they knew how as educators. So maybe that could be
Okay.
an administrative role or something at the beginning of the year saying, hey, let's reevaluate our vision statement, because as we see throughout the whole school year, our system is not working, so maybe if we reevaluate it and then implement it more into our school, then we'll see a better difference.
And I thought it was kind of interesting because I'm big on mission, so I had it on my door and then reading it, and then it said that the kids have the right, but are you seeing that vision statement? I mean, here's the, where is it so we can read it?
J.P. Elder Middle School is a place where everyone comes together to promote learning in a climate that's communicative, justly disciplined, and caring.
Do you see that on campus now?
Not at all. Not even in the slightest bit. Only communicative in the fact that the kids like to talk.
Yeah,
Justly disciplined, not a chance.
right.
Caring, the kids don't care about their campus physical buildings, let alone each other.
Right. So we do see that we can learn from, I guess, a not good vision statement. We can learn from it just as well as we can learn from.
But I think a lot of that goes also maybe the team you're on or the group of kids that you have,
Right.
or sometimes what's happening in your classroom, that may be coming across in your classroom that's not in someone else's classroom, or just, I mean, even with my classes this year, my 5 classes, I got 2 classes that they're low, they're on track and everything, but then I have 2 classes that are like, why am I doing this again?
Yeah, I'd have to say I have a different perspective from where I teach, but I teach only 6th graders. And they're coming to our school new, and in the venue that I have with them, we attempt to emulate this, although we don't address it directly. So we do treat our room as a learning community. And I enjoyed that about this statement, is that it did not, when I read it, it didn't tell me exactly how I was supposed to improve myself. It was respectful, it didn't condescend, it left it open. It included me as part of the learning community rather than just a cog in it. And it allowed me to see that the things we were trying to do is find a way to keep communication open, keep discipline just across all of the students and staff and administration, and to remain caring to each other in the process. So I wasn't as unhappy with it, although I can see it's missing that sort of strong action component. I internalized that and took it upon myself to say, how do I do those things? And I felt my own action, so it never did bother me as much as it seems to have bothered you.
I'm coming at from, I don't have a team.
Right.
I teach everyone. I teach all grades. And so if I was just going off of the kids in my class, sure, I could probably see this being effective and being accurate. I'm seeing from the kids that I'm seeing in the hallways, the attitudes of what the kids are telling me when they come to my classroom, and that's, well, I've already said.
I think the mission statement is that the school is a place.
Okay.
Individually, we're all a bunch of classrooms. We all function in our own way, but the mission statement should bring everybody
To the
together.
same
Yes,
page.
yes. And having a mission statement that's not known, other than if you've read it on a piece of paper or seen it on something, not having it known and stated on a regular basis my world